Good afternoon, aspirants. Welcome you all to the daily current affairs session brought to you by Ganesh IAS Academy for the date 9th August 2023 for the news which came in Indian Express newspaper. Okay, let's get straight into the today's news analysis. The first news is dignity and the city. Urban planning and policy need to be informed by diverse voices to ensure equity. So, what the news says is the city's urban planning as well as management doesn't address women's economic as well as social realities. And India's urban population right now is 35%. By 2050, it has been predicted that the population will get increased to 60% of the overall population. What are all the two key factors that prevents women from equitable access to the city is that first is the violence as well as the fear that is prevailing around the city, which arises because of inequitable as well as in exclusive urban planning as well as management apart from the security issues. Second is the unequal burden of urban care. These two factors is what the author has mentioned, that it is preventing the woman from equitable access to the city. And in 2021, ORF study across 140 Indian cities found that nearly 52% of the women highlighted that they turned down opportunities for education and employment due to lack of safety. And in 2017, World Bank study in Delhi showed that women were willing to travel 27 minutes more than men, so that their travel will be very safer. So if they were willing to travel in the separate route, which cost them some extra 27 minutes apart from the normal route, which the actual cost is actual cost of the time is not only the time cost, but also it is the economic cost, but also the social cost involved in these 27 minutes. So because of this kind of safety issue which arises from lack of inclusive as well as equitable policy in urban planning as well as management, there arises the inequitable participation of women in the city. So women's safety is predominantly viewed from security perspective, that is introduction of CCTV cameras, policing and emergency apps, etc., but not from the perspective of inclusive as well as equity in development planning, which is the major lacuna in our perspective. And what needed to be done according to the author is the public domain need to be made inclusive as well as gender friendly, and then the unequal burden of care on women needed to be reduced. This is what the suggestion has been made by the author of the particular editorial which we have seen in the first slide. Okay, this is apart. Government has taken some steps to overcome this kind of inequitable as well as exclusive nature of the planning development in the cities. What kind of the initiative is? So the government has taken is, first is working women's hostel. It is implemented by Ministry of Women and Child Development. The objective is to provide safe and conveniently located accommodation for working women with daycare facility for their children wherever possible, particularly in urban and semi-urban area. And if it is possible, they could also create such kind of hostel in rural areas also. Safe City Project. It is an initiative of Ministry of Home Affairs in collaboration with Ministry of Women and Child Development under Nirbhaya Fund. It aimed at creating safe, secure as well as empowering environment for women as well as girls in public places. Third is Crime and Criminal Tracking Network and System. It was started in 2009, aimed to interlink all the police stations under a common application software for the purpose of investigation as well as data analytics and research, etc. The project is being implemented with the collaboration from state as well as union territory, because the policing is state censored. So without the cooperation of the state as well as union territory, the CCTNS implementation will be in the paper only. So, and then the Stand Up India scheme to promote entrepreneurship among the women, especially scheduled caste as well as scheduled tribe category. This scheme has been invented. What the scheme says facilitate is, it facilitates a bank loans between 10 lakh to 1 crore. At least one scheduled caste or scheduled tribe borrower and at least to one woman borrower per bank branch of the scheduled commercial bank. And also it is invented for setting up of greenfield enterprises in trading, manufacturing and service sector, so that women from marginalized section could able to have the access to the credit facility provided by the bank, so that they could be able to they could become an entrepreneur, as a result of which they could create an employment opportunity in the surrounding areas. And then fifth initiative is One Stop Center, known as Saki Centers. It aims to facilitate women affected by violence with the range of integrated services under one roof, like police facilitation, medical aid, legal counseling, psychological counseling and temporary shelters, etc. Sixth is Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Kendras, to create additional infrastructure both for training as well as apprenticeship for women, flexible training delivery mechanism, flexible afternoon batches, etc. It is being implemented by Ministry of Skill Development to promote employable skill to women. And then National Urban Livelihood Mission. The implementation in statutory term to reduce the poverty and vulnerability of urban poor households for the improvement in livelihoods on a sustainable basis. So these are all the major initiatives introduced by government to promote inclusive as well as equitable development of women in urban as well as semi-urban areas. So what we needed to study further is, we should know about the urban as well as rural local body election, and what is the Constitution Amendment Act which invented this urban as well as rural local body election in the Constitution. Second is, we should know about the constitutional provision in relation to equity. Third is, we should know about what does the gender budgeting is about and what is the impact it will be creating, and check whether the government is implementing the gender budgeting or not, and check whether if there is any state government is implementing the gender budget. Fourth is, we should know about the important provisions in relation to rights of person with Disability Act 2016. Okay, these are all the other things which we needed to know apart from the new details as well as the content which we have seen in the previous slide. So let's discuss about the prelims question which we have seen in the previous slide. In relation to the news which you have seen in the previous slide, two of the schemes launched by Government of India for women development are Swadhar Swayam Siddha. As regards the difference between them, consider the following statement. The Swayam Siddha is meant for those in difficult circumstances such as women survivors of natural disaster or terrorism, women prisoners released from jail, mentally challenged women, etc. Whereas Swadhar scheme is meant for holistic empowerment of women through self-help group. This scheme has been interchanged. The Swayam Siddha, the provision for the Swayam Siddha is the provision for Swadhar. Similarly, the provision given for the Swadhar scheme is the provision for the Swayam Siddha. So the scheme's provision has been interchanged. So the answer is, statement 1 is wrong. Swayam Siddha is implemented through local self-government bodies or reputed voluntary organization, whereas Swadhar is implemented through ICDS units set up in the state. This is also wrong. So the answer is option D, neither 1 and 2. Empowering, the UPSC mains question which was asked in relation to empowerment of women. Empowering women is the key to control population growth. Discuss 10 mark. So I want those students, those who are watching the session online, please do comment answer point for the question which you are seeing right now on the board, so that there will be enriching of viewpoints could take place. Then the other news, second news is 5 years of caring. What is the 5 years of caring is about? What the author has said is, Pradhan Mantri Jan Aarogya Yojana is 5th year this year, 2023. So you should have a look at the scheme, so that whenever there is the years of attainment like 5 years, 10 years, 25 years, 50 years, 75 years, 100 years, there in relation to the history as well as the schemes, anything that is related to these kind of numbers or years, UPSC will have some interest in it, and we could able to expect a question from it as also. So keeping this in mind, and also with the news in the previous slide, let's look into the content of the news. Pradhan Mantri Jan Aarogya Yojana has taken the country closer to Sustainable Development Goal 3.8, which is meant to envision the universal health coverage. How it has taken us closer to the Sustainable Development SDG 3.8 is that nearly 15.5 crores families are covered under Pradhan Mantri Jan Aarogya Yojana. What is the positives of this scheme is it bridges the shortfalls between the healthcare providers and the service takers. And then the scheme reduced the out-of-pocket expenditure, particularly the expenditure made by the vulnerable section of the society. Third is health benefit packages have been revised so that private hospitals should not hesitate to join the scheme because of less cost for treatment. And then efforts are being made to settle claim within 15 days. And then interstate and its main important feature is interstate operability. If a particular beneficiary is registered in one state, means he could, with the Pradhan Mantri Jan Aarogya card, he could able to get treatment from the hospital which is present in another state. And then under the scheme, National Anti-Fraud Unit has been designed as well as implemented to oversee any kind of fraud initiative that is happening under the scheme. So these are all the positive takeaway from the schemes. And also there are two other positive takeaway. Pradhan Mantri Jan Aarogya Yojana added transgender to the list of beneficiaries. So this Yojana is increasing the social base so that the inclusive health accessibility could become reality to those people who are present in the marginalized section of the society. The eighth is efforts are made to secure privacy of beneficiary, because under the scheme the end-to-end service delivery has been digitalized. So extra care has been taken to provide the to secure the privacy of the beneficiaries. Okay, let's look into what does this Ayushman Bharat scheme is about. Ayushman Bharat scheme adopts a continuum approach of care, which comprise of two components, namely Health and Wellness Center. Second is Pradhan Mantri Jan Aarogya Yojana. Under the scheme, the first subcomponent, Health and Wellness Center, aims to deliver comprehensive primary health care that is universal as well as free to user, with a focus on wellness and the delivery of an extended range of service closer to community. And then the second subcomponent is the insurance scheme, that is Pradhan Mantri Jan Aarogya Yojana scheme, the world's largest insurance scheme, which is financed by the government. It provides nearly the cover for 5 lakh per family per year for secondary and tertiary care hospitalization across public as well as private hospitals in India, which is empaneled under the scheme. The coverage is the scheme, the Yojana wants to cover nearly 10.7 crore poor as well as vulnerable families, not individuals, so that nearly 50 crores members could be covered. And it provides cashless access to healthcare service for the beneficiary at the point of service. As I said, the end-to-end service delivery under the Jan Aarogya scheme is digitalized, so the healthcare services will go cashless under the scheme. And then the household included are how the household are included is based upon the socio-economic caste census 2011. And then the National Health Authority is responsible for implementing the Ayushman Bharat Jan Aarogya Yojana, and NHA, that is National Health Authority, have been entrusted with the role of designing a strategy, building technological infrastructure, and implementing National Digital Health Mission to create national digital health ecosystem across the health service delivery to the people. So this is what the important provisions of the scheme is related to, and as you all know, it is being implemented by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So what we needed to study further is we should know about the important provisions for national health policy. Second is we should know about the constitutional provisions related to health, particularly DPSP. And then third is we should know about National Digital Health Mission in India. Fourth is we should know about United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Fifth is we should know about the telemedicine in India. If there is a scheme, so what is the scheme? We have to know about it also, to promote telemedicine in India. Okay. UPSC prelims question which was asked in relation to the news which we have seen in the previous slide. With reference to National Rural Health Mission, which one of the following are the jobs of ASHA, a trained community health worker? Accompanying women to health facility for antenatal care checkup. Yes. Under the statement 1 is correct. Under using pregnancy test kit for early detection of pregnancy. This is also correct. And then providing information on nutrition as well as immunization. This is also correct. Fourth is conducting the delivery of baby. No, this statement is wrong. It will be done by the healthcare workers, the doctors, not by ASHA workers. So the answer is A, option 1, 2 and 3. And India has made a phenomenal progress in access as well as availability of health service since independence. Identify the bottlenecks in health service delivery and suggest the solution. 15 mark question. So please do comment the answer point for the question which we are seeing right now on the board. CBI Academy joins Interpol Global Academy Network. CBI is the representative agency from India in Interpol, and CBI has joined the Interpol's Global Academy Network by becoming the Academy's 10th member. It will pay, why CBI has joined this? It will pave way for development as well as delivery of joint training programs and research projects in relation to policing. So let's discuss about what does the CBI Academy is about. The Academy is situated in district Ghaziabad of Uttar Pradesh, and it started its function in 1996 when P.V. Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister. Over the year, it has emerged as the major police training institution of the country as well as the South Asian itself. And CBI's training infrastructure are further expanded in 3 regional centers like Kolkata, Chennai and Mumbai. The Academy is the focal point of training activities within the CBI. It is responsible for identification and conducting suitable training program, regulation of nominations of trainees and preparation of annual training calendar. The Academy also conducts online training programs for personnel from CBI and other central and other law enforcement agencies. So this is what the speciality of the CBI Academy is about, and the details of the CBI Academy is about. Let's look into the Central Bureau of Investigation. The Central Bureau of Investigation is the primary investigating police agency in India. It functions under the Superintendence of Department of Personnel, that is under Ministry of Personnel, Pension and Public Graves, which comes under Prime Minister office. It's also the nodal police agency in India, which coordinates investigation on behalf of Interpol member countries, and it is set up in 1963 by a resolution from government. And CBI is not a statutory body. It derives its power from Delhi Police Establishment Act 1946, and it provides assistance to Central Vigilance Commission as well as Lokpal, which is invented to prevent corruption in the country. Then it is also how the CBI has been created is based on the recommendation provided by Santanam Committee of Prevention of Corruption, and usually the force will be headed by the IPS officers in the rank of DGP, Director General of Police, and the security will be of 2 years under the CVC Act, that is Central Vigilance Commission Act 2003. So the Director General of Police, the CBI directors tenure is secured under the CVC Act 2003. So this is what the important details related to CBI is about. Okay. Let's look into what does the Interpol is about, which the news revolves around. It is an intergovernmental organization with 195 member countries in it. It will police from member countries. It will enable police from member countries to work together to make a world for safer place. The General Secretariat of the Interpol is run by Secretary General, who coordinates the day-to-day activities to fight a range of crimes. And in each country, an Interpol National Central Bureau provides the central point of contact for the General Secretariat and other NCPs. So in India, the NCP is run by national police officials and usually sits in the government ministry responsible for policing, that is home ministry. In the case in India, it is the CBI, which is designated as National Central Bureau, and it comes under the Ministry of Personnel under PMO. And the General Assembly is our governing body and brings all the country together once a year to take decisions. And it is the Interpol's headquarters is in France. And that this is what the important structure details in relation to the Interpol is about. And then the major information detail in relation to the Interpol is, 1 minute. The types of notice that is sent by Interpol is, first one, the red notice. It enables to seek the location as well as arrest of wanted persons with a view to extradition or similar lawful action. Second is the blue notice, to collect additional information about a person's identity, location or activity in relation to crime. The color indicates the severity of the notice. The green notice, to provide warning and intelligence about a person who have committed criminal offence and he will likely to commit the same offence in the other country in future. Yellow notice, to help locate missing persons, often minors who are unable to identify themselves. Then the black notice, to seek information on unidentified bodies. Sixth is the orange notice, to warn of an event, a person, an object or process representing a serious and imminent threat to public safety. Purple notice, to seek or provide information on modus operandi, objects, device and concealment method used by the criminals. And then final one is the Interpol UN Security Council special notice, issued for groups and individuals who are the target of United Nations Security Council Sanction Committee. So this is the detail in relation to the notice that is released by the Interpol organization in relation to the crimes, criminals, object, or so on and so forth, which is threat to the public safety as well as the global peace. So what we needed to study further is, first we needed to know about the Central Vigilance Commission, its statutory act, and important provisions under the act. The ministry is responsible, which ministry is responsible for the CVC, its structure, functions. These are all the things which we needed to know about Central Vigilance Commission. Second is, we should know about the Lokpal as well as Lok Ayuta, why it is invented and what is the difference between them. And in this case also, we should know about if there is any kind of statutory backing, then the provisions of the statutory, then the structure as well as its function. So third is, we should know about the Enforcement Directorate. It is also a law enforcement agency apart from Central Bureau of Investigation. So what is the purpose of creating the Enforcement Directorate and which ministry is responsible for it? We have to know about what is the statutory backing for this act. Fourth is, we should know about the structure as well as its function. So these are all the other things which we needed to know apart from the news which we have seen in the previous slide. And there is a previous year question in relation to Lokpal. A national Lokpal, however strong it may be, cannot be dissolved, cannot resolve the problems of immorality in public affairs. Discuss. So this is very nice question. Please do comment answer point for the questions. Which Russia to launch first moon lander since 1976, and it says it won't come in a way of Chandrayaan 3. Russia to launch its lunar landing spacecraft after 47 years, and the Luna, the name of the spacecraft which the Russia is going to launch after landing in moon will work for nearly 1 year. The South Pole is why the India as well as the Russia is competing for the South Pole region is that it is the important source for water, fuel and oxygen, which is very useful for human habitation. So this is what the news is. Let's look into the Luna's 25. Russia's Luna 25 with a mass of 1.8 tons carries the scientific payload weighing 31 kg. The spacecraft will deploy a scoop to collect rock samples from the depth up to 15 centimeters, and the samples will be scrutinized for frozen water content. And Luna's 25's lander features the four-legged base housing landing rocket and propellant tanks. An upper compartment contains solar panel, communication equipment, onboard computers and scientific instruments. It carries 8 science instruments including gamma rays, neutron spectrometer, infrared spectrometer, mass spectrometer and imaging system. The primary landing site for Luna 25 is near the moon's south pole, with a reserve site located in the southwest of Manzimi crater, and it's expected to operate on the lunar surface so that it could able to study the regolith as well as exospheric dust and particles for approximately 1 year. So this is what the important details in relation to Luna 25 spacecraft of the Russia is about. So what we needed to study further is we should know about its competing spacecraft which is launched by India recently, the Chandrayaan 3. Second is we should know about the mission Gaganyaan. The spelling is. And then we should know about the Aditya L1 mission of India. Fourth is we should know about the International Space Station. Okay. Match the following. Let's discuss about the previous year prelims question which was asked in relation to the news which we have seen in the previous slide. Match the following list and choose the correct answer from the codes given below. Artemis mission. The Artemis mission aims to the fourth match only is correct because it aims to send a man as well as first woman to the moon. And then the Luna 1 mission. It is the first rover to visit the moon. Yes, this is also correct. The statement 1 is the correct match for the B. Apollo mission collected first sample of rock from the moon. The second statement is the correct match for the C. And then change 5 mission, the first ever on-site evidence of water on the surface. The third statement is the correct match for the D statement. So answer is 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, C. 4, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, let's see, have a look at the previous year mains question which was asked in relation to Chandrayaan and Mars orbiter mission. India has achieved remarkable success in unmanned space mission, including Chandrayaan and Mars orbiter mission, but has not ventured into manned space mission, both in terms of technology and logistics. Explain critically in 150 words, that is 10 marks. So please do comment answer point for the question which you are seeing right now on the board, so that it will be very helpful for us to enrich our viewpoints, and also we could able to grow as the whole. Row in parliament. Row in parliament over select committee. What is this body and rules governing the select committees about? There is some row because there are certain MPs have complained about the formation of select committee, because what they have complained is without their permission, their names have been included as the member of the select committee, which the Rajya Sabha deputy chairman has ordered to probe into it. So this is what the news is related to. And then what is the select committee about? Because the news revolves around the select committee. In parliament, there are two types of committee. One is standing committee, which is the permanent in nature, with their members nominated from time to time by the chairman. And the second committee is the ad hoc committee, which is the temporary committee, which is set up for the particular specific purpose and dissolved on that purpose once the purpose has been served. Then the select committee is one of the type of the ad hoc committee, that is the temporary committee. According to Rajya Sabha rules, the select or the joint committee are formed by the houses whenever the motion has been passed by the ministry or the members. Members means the member of parliament. And the members of the select committees will be appointed by the house. No member will be appointed against his willing. If he is not willing, means we will not be appointed against his will. This is what the debate is about. And the number is not fixed. In the case of the size of select committee as well as the joint committee. But in the case of joint committee, only the proportion has been given. That is, the proportion of members from Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha will be 1:2, and the select committee chairman will be appointed by the Rajya Sabha chairman. And in the case of Lok Sabha, means he will be appointed by the speaker. And the quorum for each committee needed to be some 1/3 of the total member of the committee. In case of equality of vote on any matter, the chairman will have the casting of second vote. A select committee may appoint a subcommittee to examine any special points connected with the bill, which is referred to the select committee, and the report will be signed by chairman. The finalized report will be signed by the chairman, and it will also contain the dissent of the members who are the part of the select committee, and the dissent along with the report will be presented to the house which formed that particular select committee. In this case, it is Rajya Sabha, because the news is revolving related to the Rajya Sabha. If it is Lok Sabha, means then the committee, if it is formed by Lok Sabha, means then the report along with the dissent note will be submitted to the Lok Sabha. So let's discuss about the select committees working on the bills which is referred to them. First, the committee will go through the text of the bill. Clause by clause, they will be going through to see that the bill reflects the intention behind which the bill has been passed. and the object proposed to be achieved is adequately bought out. Then the committee for this purpose may take memoranda from or take oral evidence from experts or interested persons and organizations. The committee may also ask the government official to explain the policy behind various provisions of the bill. And after hearing the evidence, the committee considers various provisions of the bill and formulates its conclusion and may amend the clause if required, and so that the intention of the bill is clearly brought into the bill by amending by amendment, and the final report will be submitted to the corresponding houses which has formed it, and the report is mostly of recommendatory in nature. Government could either accept or reject it. So this is what the news is related to. Let's look into what are all the other areas which we needed to study. First is we should know about the other parliamentary committees. Second is we should know about the Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha functions. Third is we should know about what does the Article 105 is about. So these are all the other areas which we needed to know. Then let's look into the UPSC prelims question which was asked in relation to the news which we have seen in the previous slide, that is Select Committee. Consider the following statement: the Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts. It consists of not more than 25 members of Lok Sabha. It scrutinizes appropriation and finance account of the government. It examines the report of Comptroller General of India. The first statement is wrong. Why it is wrong is consists of 22 members, 15 from Lok Sabha and 7 from Rajya Sabha. The other two statement is correct. So answer is B, 2 and 3 only. Do department related Parliament Standing Committee keep the administration on its toes and inspire reverence for parliamentary control? Evaluate the working of such committee with suitable examples. Please do answer point for the question and also to the previous mains question which we have seen, so that we could able to enrich our viewpoint and also we could develop as a whole, so that the preparation becomes very easy. So please do comment answer point for the question which you are seeing right now on the board. So with this we have reached the end of the session. Okay, students, please do comment, like, share as well as subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you will be receiving the daily current affair notification videos and also other important current affair videos that will be brought to you in the near future by the Ganesh IAS Academy. So thank you, students. So